The soul does not give you its gifts so that you can shine alone, but so that you can become a support, a light, and a guide for others. There is a very common misunderstanding in spiritual narratives that when someone is gifted with abilities, it means they are elevated above others. But in the language of the soul, there is no concept of higher. There is only the concept of being more aligned with a certain kind of responsibility. The gifts the soul gives you are not medals. They are tools that allow you to step into difficult spaces where others are not yet steady enough to stand. You may have asked yourself, after all you have been through, what was it really for? The answer does not lie in who you will become in the eyes of others. It lies in how you will become a place of refuge for the world around you. The soul does not give you gifts so that you can shine alone. The soul gives you gifts so that you can illuminate dark places. These gifts are not handed to you all at once. They do not arrive in a single explosive moment. They grow quietly through each stage of your soul's maturation. There are phases where you are given just enough to stand on your own. There are later phases where you are given enough to hold others up. Like a tree that cannot simultaneously grow deep roots and spread wide shade, it must first root, then rise, and only then provide shelter. If you feel that you only have a little, that does not mean you are lacking. It may mean that the soul is teaching you to move layer by layer so that you do not break. The 7 gifts of the soul do not exist separately. They weave together and support one another, like instruments in a symphony. If there is only percussion and no strings, the music becomes harsh. If there are only strings and no rhythm, the music drifts. The soul did not create you with only one capacity. It created you as a subtle composition capable of feeling, understanding, discerning, healing, and guiding. At the same time, the soul also gives you limits to protect you from using your gifts from the ego. Because any power, if not grounded in love and humility, can become a tool that harms you and others. That is why many awakened souls must pass through periods of trial, not to diminish you, but to keep your heart soft as your strength grows. You may have seen people who speak endlessly about their powers. They talk about their light, their role, their mission, but truly awakened souls usually do not feel the need to speak much. They understand that real light does not introduce itself. It is recognized through the sense of safety others feel in their presence. Before we go into each specific gift, there is a crucial question you must ask yourself. If the soul gives me power, do I want to use it to prove something or to heal something? Your answer will determine how you move through the rest of this journey. In the next part, we begin with the first gift, the foundational gift that nearly every awakened soul carries. Whether they are conscious of it or not, the ability to sense what is unspoken, to see what is invisible, and why this very ability has been both a strength and a source of feeling different for so long. The first gift, the gift of perception. When you can feel the truth before it is spoken, some people look at a room and see only furniture, while others step inside and feel the atmosphere. No one has to tell you. No one has to confirm it. Within seconds, something inside you knows. There is tension here. There is sadness here. There is something unsaid. You may have wondered why you are like this, why a single glance, a single silence, can make your heart feel heavy. Why do you leave some encounters exhausted, even when no conflict occurred? It is not because you think too much. It is because you are reading a language others ignore, the language of energy. The gift of perception does not come from learning. It comes from the openness of your nervous system and your heart. You are like an antenna tuned to the right frequency, picking up subtle signals and gentle vibrations that most of the world has learned to block out. This often begins very early. As a child, you may have known when adults were not being real. You may have felt when someone was sad, even while they were smiling. You may have avoided certain situations long before you understood why. But because no one taught you this language, you may have learned to doubt yourself. You thought you were imagining things, that you were too sensitive, that you were overreacting. You began to shut this ability down, not because it disappeared, but because you stopped trusting it. This is one of the quiet pains of highly perceptive people. You see something off but have no evidence to explain it. You feel something wrong but lack the words to express it. Like someone who hears a faint sound in the night while everyone else sleeps, you know something is there, but when you speak up, you become the anxious one. Over time, many of you learn to stay silent not because you did not see, but because you grew tired of explaining what others could not feel. High perception is not only about sensing negativity, it is also the ability to feel truth, sincerity, and safety. There are people whose presence alone makes you breathe easier, not because they do anything for you, but because their energy field allows you to relax. You may not realize it, but you can be that person for others. Your presence can calm a room not through words, but through the inner stability you carry. You are like someone who can hear water flowing beneath the ground, while others see only dry soil. You do not hear it to boast, but to know where a well can be dug and where the ground is barren. But this gift has a heavy side. When you feel too much, the world can become overwhelming. Even in calm environments, you can feel drained in crowds. You can feel exhausted after conversations that had no visible conflict, not because you dislike anyone, but because you have unconsciously carried others' emotions and energy. Many highly perceptive people grow up feeling different, unable to tolerate what others find normal, because their sensory system is more open. A critical step in your growth is learning to distinguish what belongs to you and what belongs to others, what energy you are carrying, and what you are merely passing through. Before you learn this, you may feel like you are too much, too sensitive, too deep, too tired. But when you begin to understand this gift, everything shifts. You no longer try to turn it off. You learn to regulate it. Perception is not only meant to help you avoid danger, it is meant to help you create safety. When you enter a chaotic space and remain internally steady, your energy field can calm others without effort, without proving anything, simply by being present in balance. This is when the gift transforms from burden into service. You were not given the perception to live in constant tension. You were given perception so that you would know when to withdraw, when to stay, and when to trust your feeling, even if the world does not yet understand. In the next part, we move into a subtler layer of the soul, not just sensing atmosphere, but knowing your direction even when there is no logical reason. The second gift, the gift of intuition, when your soul knows the way before your mind can map it. There are moments in life when you stand at a crossroads without enough information, without guidance, without guarantees. Yet inside, something happens, a quiet certainty. You cannot explain why you know. You just know. Many times, this has saved you from paths that would have cost you dearly. Intuition is not thinking. Thinking analyzes, weighs, and explains. Intuition does not. It is like a light turning on in fog. It does not reveal the entire road, but it shows you the next step. You may remember relationships that felt wrong from the start, even when everything looked perfect on the outside. Jobs that seemed like great opportunities but did not feel right for you. Choices you could not logically justify refusing, yet your soul said clearly, "Not here." You did not hear it with your ears. You heard it on a deeper level. One of the greatest lonelinesses of highly intuitive people is that they often see ahead of others, not because they are better, but because their soul perceives consequences others have not yet reached. Like someone standing on a hill looking down at a winding road, while others see only what is directly in front of them. When you say, "I don't feel good about this," others may think you are overthinking, but you are not worrying. You are seeing ahead. You may have doubted yourself, wondering if you were complicating things or missing out. Perhaps you ignored your intuition to fit in, to be logical, to be like everyone else. Then you paid a price, not as punishment, but as a lesson that when you do not listen to your soul, you learn through harder experience. Intuition is like the smell of smoke. You may not see fire yet, but you know it is there. Highly intuitive people do not wait for the house to burn before believing there is danger. They leave when they first smell smoke. The modern world does not encourage intuition. It teaches you to trust data, logic, and evidence. Those things are not wrong, but your soul was not designed to live only by reason. You are not a machine. You are a living being connected to layers of information beyond sight and sound. When you ignore intuition, you do not become more practical, you become disconnected from your deepest self. A powerful turning point is when you begin to respect your intuition, even if no one else understands. You do not need to explain every decision. You do not need to prove your soul right. You simply live in alignment with your inner signal. When you do this consistently, something beautiful happens. Life starts to rearrange itself. You meet the right people at the right time. You leave places before they become toxic. You find yourself on paths that, looking back, you would never have chosen without intuition. This is not luck, it is collaboration between you and the unseen flow. But intuition does not always lead you to comfort. Often it leads you to places you do not like, where you must let go, leave your comfort zone, or walk alone for a while. Intuition does not promise ease. It promises what is right for your soul. Intuition is not a backup tool for emergencies. It is your soul's primary navigation system. The more you trust it, the clearer it becomes. The more you ignore it, the quieter it gets, not because it weakens, but because you turn away. In the next part, we move into a very different layer, the gift of healing. Not only healing others, but understanding why your presence already soothes, and why you must learn not to sacrifice yourself in that role. The third gift, the gift of healing. When your presence alone becomes a place where others can breathe easier. Some people do not need to speak much, give advice, or fix problems. Yet when others sit beside them, something in the body softens. Breathing slows, shoulders relax. Tears may fall not from weakness, but from finally feeling safe enough to feel. If this has happened to you, you may have carried the gift of healing for a long time. Healing is not always action. Sometimes it is simply a state of being. Your steady presence creates a space where others' nervous systems can rest. You are like a harbor. Ships do not come to stay forever. They come to repair, refuel, breathe, and then sail again. You are not their ocean. You are the place where they can pause so they do not sink. Many who carry this gift once wondered why others open up to them so easily. Perhaps you asked a simple question, and suddenly someone shared what they had never told anyone. Not because you are special, but because your energy does not pressure them to be strong, perfect, or perform. Near you, people can be real, and in this world, being real is a deep form of healing. But this is where many healers get hurt. When you hold space for others, you may forget to ask, who is holding space for you? You become the support for so many people. You listen, you stay present, you show up. But when you are tired, weak, or not okay, you do not know where to go. Not because no one loves you, but because you are used to lifting others rather than being lifted. Many healers carry an unconscious belief. If I am strong, others will be okay. If I hold everything together, nothing will collapse. This belief is not wrong, but over time, it turns into self-sacrifice. You start carrying more than your share. You absorb pain that is not yours. You become exhausted in a way ordinary rest cannot fix. You are like the person who keeps the fire burning for the whole village. Every household comes asking for embers. You give and give and give. But if no one brings wood back to your hearth, one day your fire will go out, because no flame survives by giving alone without being nourished. A deep level of maturity for healers is learning to respect their limits, not closing your heart, but knowing where you can stay and where you must rest. You are not responsible for healing everyone. You do not have to carry the pain of the entire world. You do not need to be a shelter for those who refuse to walk on their own. Healing is not saving. Healing is creating conditions for others to stand up by themselves. Another crucial point. This gift is not only meant for others, it is also meant for you. Many people who carry the healing gift possess a powerful capacity for recovery. You can fall very hard, Yet you also can rise in a way others cannot fully understand, not because you do not feel pain, but because inside you there is a self-regenerating mechanism, like a forest after a fire. On the surface, it may look empty, but beneath the ashes, new life has already begun to grow. You were not given the gift of healing to burn yourself out for others. You were given it to learn how to heal with wisdom, to know when to stay, when to withdraw, when to give, and when to keep something for yourself. In the next part, we step into a very sharp and precise gift, the gift of spiritual discernment. Not to make you suspicious of everything, but to help you see through beautiful surfaces and recognize what is truly real and what is only a mask. The fourth gift, the gift of spiritual discernment. When you can see through illusion without letting your heart harden. There comes a point in the awakening journey when many of you begin to feel confused. You no longer believe everything as easily as before. You are no longer persuaded simply by eloquent words or polished appearances. You start noticing mismatches between what people present and what you feel beneath the surface. This can make you feel lonely, because when you see through those masks, you no longer fit comfortably into old narratives. This is not because you are cynical. It is because your soul has begun to distinguish between real light and false light. Spiritual discernment is not about doubting everything. It is not about looking at life with a cold, detached eye. It is the ability to sense the truth behind form. You can hear someone speak beautifully, yet inside you feel something is off, not because they are bad, but because their words and their energy are not aligned. It is like seeing a flower that looks stunning, but sensing the smell of chemicals. Your eyes see beauty, but your inner sense knows it is not natural. Discernment does not come from judgment. It comes from subtle perception. Many people with this gift have gone through periods of self-doubt. They wondered if they were too strict, too sensitive, or creating problems where none existed. Over time, they realized that whenever they ignored their inner sense, they often paid a price, not because others intentionally deceived them, but because they dismissed their soul's warning signals. A deeper layer of discernment is the ability to see through not only people, but systems, environments, and teachings. You may enter a place full of light, inspiring words, and beautiful concepts, yet inside you feel something is not truly clean. Not because the people there are evil, but because the intention is not pure. Discernment prevents you from accepting everything simply because it is labeled spiritual or light. You are like someone tasting water. Some water is clear, some is murky. Some looks clear but is actually salty. Others see with their eyes. You taste with your soul, not to prove you are right, but to avoid poisoning yourself. One major challenge of this gift is that it can make you disappointed in people. You see masks, hidden motives, words that do not match reality. If you are not careful, you may close your heart. You may become hardened and choose to stand apart to avoid being hurt. But discernment was not meant to make you cold. It was meant to make you clear, clear enough to see, but not hardened enough to shut down. A subtle form of maturity is when you can say, "This does not feel aligned for me," without needing to prove that others are wrong. You do not need to expose anyone's mask. You simply refuse to wear it yourself. You do not need to dismantle every illusion. You only need to avoid stepping into what is not real. Sometimes this gift will lead you to leave familiar environments, close relationships, and communities you once felt deeply connected to. Not because you are superior, but because you no longer resonate on the same frequency. This kind of separation hurts a quiet, gentle pain without drama, a long silence where you simply know you can no longer stay. Discernment is not about standing above others. It is about standing in the right place for your soul, not the most beautiful place, not the most popular place, but the place where your truth can breathe. In the next part, we enter a very mysterious layer, the gift of sensing the flow of time. Not to predict the future like a game, but to understand why sometimes you know something is coming before it arrives, and why your soul gives you that ability. The fifth gift, the gift of sensing the flow of time. when your soul feels the direction of the wind before the wave actually rises. Sometimes you sense that something is approaching even when there are no clear external signs, a quiet, steady knowing that one chapter is closing and something is about to change. You do not know when or how, but inside you have already begun to prepare. Many people with this gift experience déjà vu, recurring dreams, familiar images, moments where you feel you have stood in this exact place before, not because you are imagining things, but because your soul does not perceive time linearly. The soul sees time as layered currents, past layers, present layers, and future layers already vibrating before taking form. You are like someone standing at sea. You cannot see a distant storm, but you feel the shift in the wind. The surface is calm, yet the air has changed. Others see only the water. You feel the pressure beneath. This gift is not meant to make you a fortune teller or give you control over the future. It is meant to prevent you from being blindsided by major life transitions. You may have felt that a job was ending before any sign appeared, that a relationship was reaching a turning point, or that your life was entering a new phase. While others still believed everything was fine, you were already tidying up internally, not from pessimism, but because your soul received the signal. One burden of this gift is that you often grieve ahead of time. You mourn a relationship while others are still happy. You let go of a phase while others believe it will last. This can make you feel out of sync, as if you are mourning something others have not yet lost. But this is not weakness. It is your heart moving in alignment with truth before truth becomes visible. This gift also helps you know when to stay and when to leave, not because something is wrong, but because a cycle is complete. Not all endings are failures. Some endings simply mean your soul has finished its lesson at that level. You are like a farmer who knows when a season has ended, not because crops have died, but because the soil needs rest to prepare for the next harvest. If you cling to the old season, the soil will deplete. If you release it, the land will regenerate. At a deeper level, this gift helps you sense your own inner cycles. You may feel a period of withdrawal approaching, a period of expansion, or a deep phase of release. When you respect this, you flow with your soul's rhythm instead of resisting it. When you resist, you become exhausted because you are swimming against the current. This gift also carries a lesson in humility. Not everything you sense is destiny. Many things are possible. Your soul shows you the direction of the wind, but you still steer the ship through the storm. Sometimes you sense a difficulty ahead, not to fear it, but to prepare your inner strength, to let go, to speak your truth, or to leave what no longer fits. You feel the pain earlier, but you also recover earlier. You were not given this gift to control your life, but to move with the deep rhythm of your soul, so you are not dragged by transitions you sensed long ago. In the next part, we enter a gift that is often misunderstood, the gift of empathy. Not just understanding emotions, but living in a world where others' emotions can pass straight into your heart. The sixth gift. The gift of empathy, when your heart feels not only for you, but for others. Some people hear a story and understand it intellectually. Others hear a story and feel their chest grow heavy, their breath change not because it is their story, but because their heart has entered another's emotion. If you have ever left a conversation feeling drained for no clear reason, or felt sad for someone even when your own life was fine, you may carry the gift of empathy. Empathy is not imagination. It is not simply putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Psychologically, it is a real resonance in your nervous system and heart. You do not just understand. You feel as if the emotion crosses the boundary between me and you. You are like a finely tuned instrument. When someone plucks a string, the whole body of the instrument vibrates. Not because you choose to vibrate, but because you were designed to resonate. This makes you a very safe space for others. They feel truly heard because they feel truly understood. Some people who have never cried with anyone cry with you not because you are special, but because your heart does not demand they be strong. Near you, they do not need to perform or pretend. In a world obsessed with image, being able to let go is a profound gift. But this is also where empathy becomes a burden. When you feel too deeply, you may lose track of which emotions are yours and which you are carrying for others. You may wake up feeling sad without knowing why. You may feel anxious for no personal reason. Your chest may feel heavy with no clear cause. Often, these are not your emotions. They are emotions you absorbed from your environment. Many empathetic people grow up asking, "Why do I get tired so easily? Why can't I handle tense environments? Why do I need so much alone time?" Because your emotional boundaries are thin, you are like a house with many open windows. Fresh air enters easily, but so does dust. Others may be like houses with thick walls. You are like a house with many doors. More light enters, but so does more noise. Empathy allows you to love deeply, but requires you to learn when to close the doors. A crucial step in maturity is learning to ask yourself, is this emotion really mine? Does this sadness originate from my life, or am I carrying someone else's energy? When you learn this, empathy stops draining you and becomes emotional intelligence. You still feel, but you are not swept away. There is a beautiful dimension of empathy. It allows you to touch another's pain without shaming them. You do not say, "Be stronger." You do not minimize their experience. You simply sit with them, and your presence says, "I understand you. You are not wrong to feel this way. You are not alone." For many people, this is the first time they do not have to justify their pain. But empathy also requires a deep lesson. You are not responsible for feeling for the whole world. You can love without carrying. You can listen without taking it home. Some pain belongs to another's journey. You can walk beside them, but you do not need to walk for them. Empathy is not dissolving yourself into others. It is keeping your heart open while maintaining clear boundaries so you do not lose yourself. When you learn this, empathy no longer exhausts you. It makes you deeply human, gentle, and capable of love without self-loss. In the final part, we enter the seventh gift, the gift that binds all others together, the gift of sacred connection. Not something distant or mystical, but a very real feeling that you are not walking alone, and that a greater intelligence is quietly guiding you through every turn. The seventh gift, the gift of sacred connection. When you remember that you were never truly alone. There have been moments in your life when you walked through experiences that no one around you could fully understand, not because they did not care, but because your path was not the path of the majority. You have sat alone in silence because inside you there was a calling that no language could describe. In those deep moments, even without seeing or hearing anything, you had a strange feeling. You were not truly alone. The gift of sacred connection is not about seeing angels, hearing voices from heaven, or experiencing supernatural phenomena. It is a quiet knowing, a knowing that a greater intelligence is guiding you, that invisible hands are holding you, even when you feel like you are falling. You are like someone swimming in a river at night. You cannot see the shore or your destination, but the water does not let you sink. It carries you little by little. You do not see the current, yet you are being moved by it. Many people with this gift have had strange moments, standing before a major decision without enough information, yet feeling a clear inner peace. Go. And you went not because you were certain, but because part of you trusted a guidance deeper than logic. Looking back, you realize that if you had not turned that day, your life would be different, not necessarily better or worse, but not aligned with your soul as it is now. This gift also appears through precise synchronicities, meeting the right person at the right time, hearing the exact words you needed when stuck, watching the right video, and reading the right line. When you were on the edge of giving up, you were led not to where you merely wanted to go, but where you needed to go. One of the deepest layers of sacred connection is learning to distinguish between the voice of fear and the voice of guidance. Fear is loud, urgent, and controlling. Guidance is calm, gentle, and steady. Fear is like someone shouting in a crowded room. Guidance is like a whisper in an empty room. You must be quiet to hear it. At times, this gift makes you feel out of place in the world because you live by inner guidance while others live by external standards. You may be asked, why don't you follow the safe path? Why do you believe in what you cannot see? Not because you are rebelling, but because your soul has tuned into a different compass. Sacred connection does not make you superior. It makes you more responsible for your own truth. You can no longer pretend not to hear the call. You can no longer live only to please others. Because once connected, betraying your soul hurts more than any external failure. Here is where all 7 gifts come together: deep perception, clear intuition, healing presence, spiritual discernment, sensing time, profound empathy, and sacred connection, not to make you special, but to help you become fully yourself. You were not born to be a blazing torch on a stage. You were born to be a lamp in the darkness, not blinding, but bright enough so others do not get lost. If you recognize yourself in these gifts, it is not to make you feel superior. It is to remind you of your responsibility, to live in truth, to honor your feelings, to listen to your calling, to trust your guidance. The world does not need more perfect people. It needs people awake enough not to spread more harm, bright enough not to repeat old darkness, and loving enough not to close their hearts after pain. If you are hearing these words, perhaps this is not a coincidence. Perhaps your soul is remembering. I know this. I am on the right path. If you take only one thing from this, let it be this. You do not need to know the whole road. Just be honest with the next step, and guidance will meet you there. If this story touched you, leave a comment. I am listening to my soul. And if you want to continue walking together through stories of awakening, healing, and returning to your true self, follow the channel not to believe something new, but to remember what you have always known. You are not alone. If you want this to become more than temporary inspiration, start with 5 simple practices. Spend a few minutes each day in real silence, not for entertainment or thinking, just to listen inward. Respect your first feeling when something feels wrong. Do not dismiss it. That is the language of your soul. Care for your energy as you care for your body. Avoid environments that drain you. Stay close to places that help you breathe. Set loving emotional boundaries. Listen without carrying. Care without self-sacrifice. Observe your own cycles. When you need to retreat, retreat. When you need to step forward, step forward. Do not force yourself to live by others' rhythm. This is not about changing your life overnight. It is about returning to your true life, step by step. We are not here to become someone else. We are here to return to ourselves, fully. Thank you for listening to the end. I read every comment and feel gratitude for what you share about your awakening journey. See you in the next story.